And we are live. Welcome everybody to Today with Jared James, episode 87. Straight back from doing a couple of crazy trips. We'll talk a little bit about that. But I am joined today by Lex Burzynski, who it feels weird to even say Alexis. The only time that I ever say Alexis is when I'm typing out the email. I almost feel like that needs to change because it's nowhere else that that I use that. But I'm joined by Lex, who runs our marketing department. You want to say hi to everybody?
Hi, everyone.
If my voice cracks, everyone, I'm not going through puberty, just trying to gain my voice back before hitting the road again. So we've got kind of a cool topic today. I forget the exact title, but I think we're going to talk about real estate trends.
Yeah.
Real estate trends.
Real estate trends, social media, some tips,
All
tricks.
right. You want to tell everybody about yourself? I think, is this the first time you've been on the podcast?
Yeah, this is the first time. I've actually wanted to come on for a while, but you said I had to
Didn't
come
take
up with
long.
a good
Yeah, you
topic.
got to come up with something. Yeah.
I thought about it the other day. I was driving and I was like, you know what? I want to be on the podcast. And I was texting you while I was driving.
Is that when you wrote me and said whatever? And I said, good, send me an outline or whatever. Yeah.
It's like, this is illegal. I'm driving right now, but
That's great.
I mean, that's when your best ideas come to you.
I would argue the shower. Driving as well, but shower's a good one too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like whenever you just like turn everything off and you're just like, let me just focus. There's no distraction. You can't hold a phone. You can't do whatever. It's just like, let me just think.
Yeah. Driving and shower.
Yeah, that's good. Hey, you know what? It's a very true thing. I actually said this last week. I was talking about, practice. Amateurs practice enough to get something right. Pros practice so much they can't get it wrong. And I used the example. Haven't you ever driven home and like you get like a turn from home? You've been driving for 18 minutes or whatever. And it's like, I don't even remember getting here.
Yes.
Like, I don't remember turning the car. I don't remember stopping at a stoplight. I could have hit a child.
Literally all the time.
I don't remember anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And or sometimes you just are staring for too long that you kind of you don't doze off because you're aware that you're driving.
Yeah.
But you're just like, wait, how did I get here already? When you're just like down the street, like 20 seconds
Isn't
ago.
that an amazing thing where it's like you do something so much that you don't even realize you're doing it? It's like it does prove that point. It's like amateurs do things enough to get things right. Pros do it enough so they don't have the ability to get it wrong. And that's not an intentional thing, but driving home is a great example of that. It's like when you do something so much, you don't even know. Like, for example, the intro to today's podcast, right? Saying the name, saying whatever. I don't even remember saying it. It's just like, you just kind of like, welcome to, you don't even think about it. Yeah. It's just it's a second nature thing.
I noticed that recently. I tend to tap my fingers a lot and I don't ever realize it because I do it so much. Right. But I've seen like
tap it how? Like what do you mean?
Like I just go like this sometimes. And I've seen a video of me like a week ago. I was at volleyball and I'm just standing there and you could see me tapping my fingers against my leg. And the only reason why I know I do that is because back in high school, my best friend like recorded a video of me like in my eyebrow place. She was outside and I'm just sitting there like tapping myself like
don't even realize.
I don't even realize it until I saw that video.
Yeah.
And I do it often. So who knows?
It's amazing when you see yourself, like the things you recognize where it's like on one hand, it's like we're such our biggest critics, such whatever. And then it's like on the other hand, some things don't need to be fixed. Like I used to watch myself and I would like just go, okay, I got to fix this, got to fix that, got to fix. And it's like by the time it's kind of like fix it to what? What does that mean? What are we making it more like? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like what is the mean here? Like what is well, that's not right because this is right. Well, what is right? And so like, it's like you can fix yourself so much that you're no longer yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like I'm on a stage and I talk fast. And my head works fast. And I say things that should probably get me canceled. And I do like, whatever. And it's like, okay, but you strip all that away. And, if you take the Cajun away and you take the spices away and you're just left with chicken. Like at the end of the day. So there's obviously something going on with chicken here.
Yes. Okay. So
you said you wanted to talk about something. We're doing our test and you're laughing about dinner. He's over here laughing. What is so funny?
Speaking of critics, you have some critics right now in the office.
Oh God.
What did you make for dinner last night?
I made grilled chicken salad with tomato and moots. Why? What's the joke here?
I mean, there's not really a joke about it. It's just, there were some critics today in the office. We were talking about your dinner. What type of lettuce did you use?
Romaine.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. The Office rated it a 4 out of 10.
That's because they didn't eat it.
No, it's just
It was delicious.
Tom.
Is there a different kind of lettuce you're supposed to use?
Tom brought up the comment about the lettuce.
Tom's got a mic here. What's the deal? For anybody listening, I put up a story yesterday of me doing my best. I'm not a cook, okay? Of making a meal for my children. I grilled the chicken, I spiced it up, I did all that. What's the issue with the lettuce, Tom?
I don't think there's an issue with lettuce. I don't recall any.
Oh wow, he's backing off. Wow. You specifically said he brought it up first.
He did.
It did look like iceberg though.
Yeah.
It did look like iceberg.
It looked dry. We're not gonna lie.
It wasn't dry. I can tell you this, it was not dry.
It did.
But now you've got me wondering if it's iceberg or if
Tom,
it was.
can you share a picture here and like let everyone see it.
I'm gonna go on my Instacart order and see if it was iceberg or if it was. It might have been iceberg.
Did you have like a dressing on it?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, it also didn't look like there.
Yeah.
It just there's a dressing on it. It was Olive Garden light, meaning a little healthier.
Right.
That Olive Garden Italian dressing is delicious. Is it not?
Okay.
And I started doing the light one, which is a little healthier or whatever, but it still tastes delicious. My kids are obsessed with it. I
Okay.
don't remember what kind of lettuce. And honestly, this is how you know I don't cook. I wouldn't even like, as you said that, I'm like, what is the difference?
One is basically water, which is iceberg.
Okay. Okay.
And then there's like
No
romaine,
nutrients.
spinach.
Is iceberg the one that comes in a ball
It is the one that comes.
Yes.
and you have to tear it apart and wash it?
Yes.
That's the one. That's no good
It's not like
There's no
good.
nutrients.
because we enjoy it. No,
tastes
but
like
well, so
water.
let's say we switch to romaine.
Yeah.
Let's just say this is what you come on this podcast for, everybody, to get. This is the hard hitting stuff. Okay. So let's say you go to romaine. So whenever I hear something that is okay, now it's more tasty, it's more whatever. In my mind, it just got very unhealthy. So is romaine no good?
It's not that it's no good. So romaine, it's been like recalled a whole bunch because of like E. coli, but
Yeah.
it is.
Well, you really talking.
And iceberg though, no? I think iceberg.
Is iceberg what I got?
Iceberg.
Yes.
Iceberg. So like it just doesn't add anything.
No, it-
to like your
Taste wise.
Taste wise and
Taste-wise
nutrients.
yeah.
Well, the nutrients would intrigue me. The taste, I'm not, it's not as easy to sell for me because it tastes like when we put the dressing in the chicken, it tastes delicious.
Yeah.
But the nutrients thing,
Yeah.
unless it's a bunch of crap, like it's gonna be way more calories, it's gonna be
Oh,
you know.
can make a salad taste good with
Yeah.
just using like greens. So like you can throw like some arugula in there that'll give it that nice like bitter.
I like
The moldy
micro
cheese?
I like microgreens.
What's this?
I'm thinking of blue cheese. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Arugula and blue cheese.
I don't know.
Whatever that moldy cheese is stuff. That stuff.
Blue cheese.
Blue cheese.
Or no, gorgonzola, I think. is the-
Gorgonzola is what I'm thinking of. Isn't that just moldy cheese?
I don't like
I think
gorgonzola.
cheese in general-
I'm sure it's delicious, but like just the thought of it, it's mold cheese. It's like I don't do
Yeah.
mushrooms.
Yeah.
And I'm like, any fungus that grows in my backyard because I didn't take care of my yard, I don't really want to eat it.
Fair.
You
That
know?
is
And I'm
fair.
sure mushrooms are delicious,
They are.
but they're a fungus, you know? Like
Yeah.
probably grow between your toes. Like, ugh,
Okay.
no thanks.
I do like to eat mushrooms,
Yeah.
so
Well,
nice
Let
and
me-
sauteed with the steak.
I'll leave my irrigation off for a few weeks and maybe some mushrooms will grow.
I'm gonna
That's-
have to pass on that one.
Yeah. Okay, so this was the big look. I do not profess to be. In fact, here's a cool thing that not a lot of people know. I don't profess to be a great cook. In fact, I don't think I'm a great cook at all. So when I got divorced, one of the things that I do with my kids now is I kind of like, my son will send me a TikTok video of like a steak, or in fact, if you open that freezer, there's different kinds of steaks and whatever. And we will pick a meal and try to do that meal in a way that the TikTok video said. And I'll be honest, it's about a 50-50. 50% of the time it comes out amazing. And they're like, we need to do that again.
Mhm.
And the other 50% of the time, it's the opposite of amazing. And they're like, we don't need to do that again. Right.
Yep.
And so that's not what we did last night. That was not that at all.
I would hope so.
No. That was delicious. What is the shot? That was delicious. It's a grilled chicken salad. It was delicious. I seasoned it. I let it sit out all day. I grilled it. I made tomato and mousse to season
Okay.
it. My kids devoured it, said it was delicious. But it's all effort because I really don't know what I'm doing. When it comes to cooking, it's not my thing. I get why people enjoy it. I really do.
I love cooking.
I get why people also don't love doing it when it's an everyday thing and it has to be done. But from the perspective of putting a meal together and watching someone enjoy it, I now understand that, where I did not understand that before. So it's all it's an effort of love. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't deny that. That's why I'm asking the questions going, what is the difference? Because that is not an area of expertise. You are not going to see a Today with Jared James or a keynote coming to you on how to cook. I'm going to stay in my lane. Okay.
You should do it.
We should do it.
I'm great at paying for dinner.
That should be a podcast episode.
That is my contribution to dinner. It's paying for dinner.
The mukbang where you eat like a bunch of different food.
Wow.
You don't have no idea what I'm talking
no
about.
idea.
Oh my gosh.
Was that like a play on Wolfgang?
No, it's
Puck?
it's like a YouTube trend. Maybe I'm saying it wrong.
I don't
think
know.
it's muk-
I can't prove you wrong. Say it confidently. If I've learned anything in this world, say it confidently, and it'll be like, yep, there it is. But here's my point. Greater point. While these people mock me for making an effort to cook for my children, I will say that one of the things I learned is that thing we do where like we grab the TikTok video and we just like make an effort. We literally go to it's the only time I ever go to the grocery store, because since Instacart, I have no interest in going to a grocery store. But there is something nice about going, picking out the ingredients, trying to find where things are, like doing that whole
Only
thing.
if you know the store.
I don't know it at all. That's the problem. Like it takes me a while, but just the experience of us all together, getting the ingredients, asking someone who looks like a mom, like, hey, where do we get, blank, what aisle? Like, whatever, like we have no idea, and just kind of getting people to help us, getting the right, whatever, and then cooking the whole thing. It is kind of a cool experience. It's been a bonding experience. We've learned a few meals that we do enjoy, but last night was just to throw it together. That was but they were very happy. They
I
loved
respect it.
It was
I
delicious.
respect it.
Protein, healthy. It was fantastic. You'd be surprised to hear I have a whole spice rack. Okay. I went on Amazon. I bought a whole thing full of spices.
Okay.
Now, yes, one of the spices I tried to use, nothing came out because it was rock solid because it hasn't been used yet. Details. Okay. Okay. We made it work. Okay. But it's the effort.
It's
okay?
the effort that counts.
I give my best effort, and I will listen to feedback because I did not know that about the lettuce.
Feedback.
Yeah. What's
There you
that?
go.
It's food. It's feedback.
Oh, you got to tell us when you're telling a joke.
Yeah.
You can't just throw out a word like
Lost
that.
me.
I'm telling a joke, and then it's not.
I feel like with that one you needed to.
Yeah.
Did you agree with that?
Yeah, you lost me there.
Someone's gonna get it.
Outside of it sounded like there was an echo in here. Like I said feedback and you went feedback.
It's like feedback.
Yes.
Yeah, you get it.
I got you.
Now I got it, but
The emphasis
you
on
lost
the
me at
feed, not the
first.
back. Gotcha. Okay, it wasn't an anatomy. It was the food. See, we needed details.
Yeah.
Speaking of food, Tom made us some yummy quesadillas.
You know
the
what?
other
I
day.
saw this the other day. Where was I? How come I wasn't in with you
You
guys?
were in Vegas still.
I was still
Yeah,
in Vegas. Okay.
Yep, you were on your way back.
That's right. Oh, you know what? I think I was back by then, but I had something with my kids. I don't remember. But anyway, I saw pictures of this quesadillas.
Yeah.
That looks delicious. Was it good?
Really good.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was
Cute.
really good.
Wow, look at him. Just look at that. Was this first time making these?
It was my first time making them the way that I made them. I've never made meat on I have this like a little like electric skillet,
Yeah.
and I've never made meat on that before. But I guess it was all right. I don't know.
Saw a different side of Tom.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I got the vibes that he was like a 40-year-old dad in the backyard cooking.
Yeah.
When do you ever get a different vibe than that from him?
Well, I just actually seeing him
I
like
love that
he's
40 was
whistling.
gauged too. Like that was an old dad. I just want to be clear. That would be my youth, like, a year ago. But anyway,
He was like, I don't know. He was just cooking. He was whistling. He was going
that
back
to me
and
is
forth.
Tom's essence.
I mean, it is. It's just like Tom, but cooking unlocked. Like that
I
was
feel
new
like,
for
how
me.
people
That was
say
a-
like dress for where you want to be. I feel like Tom has acted his whole life for where he wants to be, which is 40-year-old dad in the backyard cooking.
Yeah,
Like
I can see that.
and by the way, I respect that. I think that's awesome. Like, I don't think enough people glorify that kind of a thing, right? It's like all of the goals and all the whatever, all these other things that are superficial that will never fulfill you, that will never, and everybody runs from that. And then they wait until they're 80 and they realize, oh, that was the only thing that actually brought me joy. Like that was it. But just because everyone else could experience too, I felt like I needed something different. Like I needed, and yet what they didn't know all along is that was all different because every kid is different and every experience is different and every relationship is different and every, whatever. But you've given me those vibes from the day I met you.
So basically what we're saying is, if you live like me, you will live happy. I think is what we're,
Yes.
I think that's what we're saying.
Yes.
What I'm getting out of this conversation.
I want to be Tom when I grow up.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
He's been growing up since he was born.
I
so
know.
It's, it's,
I stopped growing it about 15.
oh my God. Anyway, I've learned that we grow up and then we grow out if we're
Yes.
not careful.
Yeah.
Like that's that tends to be the evolution of human, whatever.
Yeah.
And becomes more and more difficult. If I hear one more times my kids, they'll step in front of these mirrors and start flexing their 8-packs. Meanwhile, they just finished a package of Oreos. You know what I mean?
That's me.
Oh my God.
That is me.
I'm just like, what?
I'll go have like a really nice workout and then I'll come back home and I always have Oreos in my house.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
just so good.
greater point I was trying to make is that they don't make any effort. And they
You're
just,
right.
was it Maybelline? Maybe she's born with it. Like, that's what I want to say to them. I want to, like Tom, throw out one word, Maybelline. That would be you saying food. What was it? Food back?
Feedback.
Feedback. Okay. Yeah, that would be the equivalent of that. But I want to say you're welcome for those jeans. Okay. One day you will have to actually, work your butt off to not be in that shape anymore.
Yep.
Anyway.
How was R4?
R4. So I just got back. I know we have a lot of different people who listen here and I am brand agnostic. But I just got back from the Remax R4 conference. Actually, I think right before that I did a C21 conference. But obviously a large conference, there's almost 10,000 people there. It was their 50th anniversary. One of my best friends runs the company, which is awesome. It's surreal. Like it's literally just a surreal experience, right? I always wonder, like, if we brought people from the office, what would they be thinking, right? It's just, it's a surreal experience. There's a lot of time hanging in your room, and trying to get some rest and trying to whatever, because it's a different thing. So I got a chance to, well, it's funny because I got a chance to, I spoke to the elite people who are like 500,000 or $1 million and above or something like that in commissions. And then I moved on and there was an opening ceremony that I didn't even know about. Like literally someone like 20 minutes before, I was like, you come to opening? And I'm like, I thought it was like a have a drink, pass a card, like a networking thing. So I text Pam, the lady who kind of runs it all and puts it together. And I'm like, hey, because as much as everyone there knows me, you can't just walk up and get in because security is not from Remax. Security is from the arena.
Yeah.
And technically I know the guy who does it too, because I've been there enough times. If I wanted to, I could be like, hey, we don't come, whatever, but I don't like doing that. So I text Pam. And Pam's like, I'm about to go in. I'll wait for you. So she brings me backstage. But I'm like, what are we doing backstage? Like, I don't understand. I thought this was a networking thing. Next thing I know, it's a concert with Mark McGrath and In Vogue and Sugar Hill Gang, and then ends with Flo Rida. And I'm like backstage going, what is going on here? I didn't know I knew we were doing a concert the last night, Maroon 5. What are we doing here? And it turns out it was one of the most fun nights. I did not expect. It was not expect. I'm in the middle of a 90s concert.
Yeah.
Just having a blast.
I think we were sent some videos of the concert.
Oh, the 90s one or the next one, the Maroon 5.
No, it was the 90s.
It was the 90s.
Oh, it was so much fun. I forgot that In Vogue had that many songs. But every song they sang, you were like, know it. I mix up In Vogue and SWV. If you heard the songs, you would. That's the thing. Like when you hear the songs, you know it, but I always get them mixed up with like In Vogue, SWV, like whatever. They were from that same genre, like same era. And then you hear it and you're like, oh yeah. But it was so much fun. And then I did I did day 2 main stage, opening day, which people find so hard to believe. But doing an arena is easier than doing a 200-person small room. It's easier. And there's so much, like, I know most people there. So the camaraderie is awesome. The, just all of that is really, really cool.
What about the lights? Like, can you see anyone?
No.
Yeah.
No, you're performing.
Yep.
You can barely see anybody. I heard people screaming, like when I came out there, like, we love you, Jared, which is so cool.
Get on the stage.
Yeah, exactly. But you can't. And the funny thing was, it's like people you guys know how this is, like, and it's especially true for me. Like, not that I don't appreciate everybody's nice comments or whatever, from all over the place, but they don't mean anything in the sense that they mean something because it's nice, human nature, whatever. But there's really less than a handful of people who say things that actually matter to you. You know what I'm saying? So here I am getting ready to go perform in front of this arena. And by the way, if you would have told me as a kid that I would be that not nervous getting ready to go out in an arena, I was like a caged animal. I'm like, let's go. Like, let's go. What are we waiting for? Like, let's go. And I'm talking to my kids, and Linda is sending videos to my kids of like behind the scenes, the mic check, walking in. And my kids at this point are so unimpressed with me. Like they are just, okay, Dad, whatever. Hey, I got a game to start. I got to, whatever. You come, whatever. They have, the only time it impresses them is like we were at Hibachi the other day and somebody came over for a picture. And now they're like, and they wanted my kids to be in the picture. And now they're like, oh, now this makes sense. Now I love this. Outside of that, they are so unimpressed. And so I'm talking to my older son and I'm like, so going over to do mic check in an arena. And he's like, yeah, Dad. So after school, whatever. And I'm like, did you hear me? And he just keeps going. And then finally I found the in, because all he wanted was to watch Saturday night. When we got back, we had to go to his soccer tournament. And all he wanted was to watch the John Jones fight Saturday night. And I looked out of my room and I saw a big picture of John Jones at the MGM Grand Arena this Saturday. And now I found the connection. And I said, Grayson, I'm performing on the same stage as John Jones on Saturday, And he goes, what?
There you go.
Like,
that got his attention.
Yeah, that is what got his attention. He's like, are you serious? And I'm like, yeah, bud, kind of a big deal. Like I've been trying to tell you this last 3 days, nothing until I said, John Jones, same stage, same thing. They could care so less. It's hilarious. You get back, I got back, I go pick them up from school. They don't even think to ask, how'd it go? They're like, Dad, I want to go bike riding over here. Can you get me over here? Can you do it? I'm just like, nothing. They just don't care. Yeah, it's funny. But anyway, it went fantastic.
Awesome.
Exhausting.
Yeah.
Voice is now coming back.
Andrea, she told me how you guys were out one night and you were confused why people kept like coming up to you and recognizing who you were. And she was like, he had a shirt on with his name on it.
I wasn't confused. That's not a true statement. I wasn't confused, but that was the night of the concert. And I will bring a t-shirt to work out in. And the ones I work out in a lot of times are our merch shirts because they're comfortable, whatever. And so we're getting ready to go. And Linda changed. She had like a baller Vegas outfit. And then last second, she's like, well, what about this? And she grabbed like a Guns N' Roses t-shirt with like a thing over whatever. And it was perfect concert look. I was like, that's the look. I'm like, yes, don't go all fancy, whatever. I'm like, wear that. That's a concert look, right? And she's like, well, are you going to wear a t-shirt? And I was like, I'll wear a t-shirt. I don't even think like this. I go into my bag. This is how much I don't think about things. I go into my bag. I just grab a t-shirt with the jeans. I'm like, we're good. Let's go, whatever. And at the Remax conference, especially right after you've just been on stage in front of whatever, you're going to get stopped like crazy. But you're going to get stopped even more when the back of your shirt in huge letters says consistency is undefeated and has, whatever. And I get why they were joking, and I would joke about it too. I didn't even think about it. Literally just, oh, t-shirt, here we go. Off we go. I don't think like that. It's a purity I don't ever want to get rid of. But then I also look at it and go, why didn't you think about that? Like, why didn't you throw on just like a plain shirt or something? So yeah, it was interesting.
We got to rep the brand.
Yeah, we did rep the brand. We need to make more merch, by the way, with the consistency is undefeated.
I know, I love it.
That's like, you know what? Oh, here's a little insight. You know what I'm thinking of doing? I don't know if I'll put this out publicly, but we've started. So I've got a few days before I take off again, right? And I'm on a whirlwind coming up. Like, in addition to the flights I'm doing, I think all over the US, I think one in Canada or something, I'm also going to Uruguay. I'm going through Brazil and going to Uruguay. And the flight is like, between the two, it was like 39 hours or something to get there and then back. It's a doozy.
I give you credit.
Oh, I'm like, I'm literally right now just trying to like gear up for like what the next 10 days is going to look like when I go. It's going to be exhausting. So I'm trying to get my voice back. I'm hitting the gym. I'm trying to eat right. I'm just trying to like take it in, spend time with my kids, all while getting work done and whatever. But I know what I'm about to walk into, and then it doesn't get any better for the next month and a half. But I say better, like as if it's a bad thing. It's a great thing. It's just exhausting.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking about it. So for years, I had publishers like borderline begging to write another book, like write a book. And I was thinking about it, and I'm like, I got like between those 2 flights, I got like 78 hours on a plane.
So are we getting another book?
Well, this is my point. Is I was talking to Linda, and I'm like, maybe prior to getting on those flights, I'll write a little bit of an outline, and maybe I'll just start writing chapters. I've got all that time. It's not like I can talk on my phone.
idea.
It's not like I can whatever. It doesn't take months to write a book. It literally, once you start flowing, you knock it out in days.
It's always, for me, it's always like the first paragraph or two.
Once you get going,
Once
it
you
goes.
get going, yep.
It's all that time you sit there and write nothing.
Yep.
So I'm like, maybe I'll knock something out on this flight. Maybe we'll even call it Consistency is Undefeated or something. Like, I don't know. Like, it's such a catchy.
It is.
I looked it up online, and I'm like, nobody says that. I said that on stage almost a year ago, and I was like, that's good. I got to keep that.
Mm-hmm.
I bought the domain.
Yep.
I checked it the other day. I own consistencyisundefeated.com.
Yep.
Otherwise I wouldn't be talking about that because someone would grab it. But I own the domain through 2027. But then I'm like, okay, what kind of book though? Do I go strictly real estate, whatever? Do I do a sales book mixed in with some life principles? Do I go, because Consistency is Undefeated applies to so many different things.
It can apply to almost anything.
Yeah.
And everything.
Yeah. So I might. So what I'm saying is I haven't fully determined yet, but I might use some of that time on the flight to just be like, let me knock this out. Let me put a book together or something, because it's been so long. And then my son said to me the other day too, I talked about how unimpressed they are. He's like, so are you a New York Times bestseller? And I was like, not yet, bud, but I said, I'm pretty sure it would happen, with the next one. Mm-hmm. He's like, oh, that would be really cool. And I'm like, crap. So here's the next thing
you got to do it for him now.
Yeah, everything I'm doing now is just like, how do we impress the kids?
It's cool.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, we got a secondary thing lately where they're like, their friends, speaking of social, we're gonna talk about today, follow me on social, but unlike it being like a cool thing, they're actually embarrassed by it. Where they're just, oh yeah, I'm like, guys, this is like a great thing to have happen. And they're just like, no, they take pictures of things, send it over, they do, that whatever. And I'm trying to explain to them, like, guys, it's a form of flattery. Like, they're doing that because they like that your dad does that, even though they're making fun of you. It's like when I get together with my friends, if we're not making fun of each other, we don't like each other. That's how guys do it. If I'm not making you try to jump off of a cliff, I don't like you. If I'm just being nice, I'm just like, hey, okay, great. Don't love you. Don't hate you. Just don't love you,
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to explain that to them, but it's, they're at a weird age, where they don't like attention. They don't like anything that's not normal. It's why all kids in high school, everybody wants to be different. They dress exactly the same.
Literally.
Like even when you looked at back in like the goth kids, they were dressed just like all of their friends. Yep. Nobody can be different. And so I'm trying to explain to them, like, guys, different is what makes you, it's what it is.
It'll come to you.
Yeah.
Eventually it comes to you. But yeah, high school, everyone dresses the same. Everyone just does everything the same.
You're not comfortable with yourself, right?
No,
I remember having acne and some adult telling me that I looked like I had a pizza on my face, and I've never gotten over it. I was just like, every night I picture stabbing them 27 times. It's just like, when you're in high school, you're so insecure.
You are.
About everything, even things you shouldn't be insecure. It's like everyone else has acne too.
Yep.
And you're insecure about acne.
Yep.
It's like everyone else has all of these, and yet you don't realize that, it's not gonna be that long before you realize that those things were just not.
It didn't matter that much.
Didn't matter at all. Didn't matter at all. It's why I sit here to do a podcast. I haven't even done my hair. Like,
your hair does look done.
It's not done. It's got out of the shower and just went like this because I'm taking my kids for a haircut today. But no, there's no, I was gonna say gel, but do people use gel anymore? It's really paste.
Paste?
Do people use gel anymore? Not really, right?
My brothers use gel.
It's not a common thing. Yeah, paste.
Yeah, what's that?
What is paste?
Paste. It's a little, like, if I had it, I'd show it to you. You undo it, little paste you do on your hands.
I should get some for Braden.
Oh, it's a paste is the way to go now. Yeah, without a doubt. Yeah. But anyway, my point is, I never could have done that in the past, other than the fact that even someone who does what I do, I mean, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, you would have to always be seen in a suit. You'd have to always be seen, and it's just like, I don't feel that pressure anymore. there's such we'll talk about this with social, but there's such a freedom in delivering yourself exactly as you are, to where people accept you as that. And yet the thing that most people do, where they try to be what they think they're supposed to be, it actually creates a prison around them, because now they have to try to live up to that every single time.
Yes.
And it's just like, oh, what am I supposed to be right now? Oh my God, I don't have the exact look. Oh my God. And when you look at, like, when I look at some of the people, like I was just listening to the Rogan podcast with Russell Brand, and I'm looking at those two. None of them got ready for this podcast. One's got a t-shirt on doing the other one looks that's what I expect of them, though. It'd be weird to not, now I have to not go like this when I get on a stage in front of 10,000 people or whatever. But I mean, I'm up there in, t-shirt thing with Nikes on. You never could have done that in the past.
No.
It's just a different, everybody talks about authenticity, which has become such a buzzword now, to the point where it's almost annoying. It's kind of like real estate coach. Everybody who can't sell real estate becomes a real estate coach. But at its purest form, there is something to it, in the sense of, you didn't act like a 50-year-old dad, like out there whistling and we'd be like, it's what separates you.
Well, the truth is when you stop caring about what the world thinks of you, you become happier with yourself. You find like the inner self, like that's in you, and you are able to bring it out.
But the world loves you more.
Yes, they do. That is true.
Like, look at the guy who went on after me, John, I forget his name. So he went on after me at the R4 conference. And he's like he was a magician who was a finalist on America's Got Talent. And he's up there being a good guy and like laughing and showing, doing tricks and, whatever. I was like, oh, okay, nice little act or whatever. And then all of a sudden he's like, and then my dad killed my mom, and he shows the press clipping. We're like, what in the world? Like, what just happened?
Dark humor.
Oh my God. No, not humor. It was like legit. And he's like, and I learned that day, he's like, everybody's like, oh, you lost your mom. And he's like, no, I lost my mom. He goes, I lost my dad too. Because like, there's no coming back from that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And he goes through the whole thing, and he talks about all his insecurities and all this. And he's up there with his hat on backwards, and he's doing whatever. And all the things that a speech coach would tell you, don't do. No, you can't do that. You can't, whatever, are exactly why everybody loved him. They felt so, when I first started speaking, when I would turn my back on the crowd, I would turn around, I would just do this thing that I would do where it's just kind of nonchalant. I was just kind of like playing with them, I was having fun, whatever. And a lot of the things I did, I remember all the time speech coaches reaching out. You shouldn't do this. If you'd like a free lesson on what you should do, and you shouldn't do whatever. And thank God I didn't listen to them, because they were forming bots. They're forming robots. It's like the army from, Clone Wars or something. Here is what a warrior looks like. Like, this is whatever. And ultimately, it's actually the things where you actually expose yourself, and the fact that I even said the word divorce on this podcast, like you're not supposed to even talk about it if you're in my position. You're supposed to just go, oh, no, everything's perfect. Everything, nope, didn't exist. And I think that's ultimately what connects people to you. They're like, oh, humanity. There you go. It doesn't mean everybody's the same. It doesn't mean that, like in my world, people would have said that even talking about that, it belittles you. It does whatever. And I'm like, no, I know that I'm different. I know my head works different. I know that. I don't need to act like that's the case. Get a little deeper with me and you'll see that. Like, I know that, so I don't need to show that to you. I don't need to put myself in a position where it's propped up and it's produced and it's whatever. It is what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Right? So
I personally like to put myself in uncomfortable situations, because putting myself in uncomfortable situations, it makes me grow as a person.
Of course.
So I love to do that.
You don't need your muscles till they're needed.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Till they're the only way muscle grows is by being stressed.
Yeah.
Right. Like, it's a funny thing in our world today. I talked about this at the R4 conference. I talked about this in the elite session. And I said, people's greatest problem is that they think they're not supposed to have problems. That's a problem. Because then every time a problem hits, you get triggered to, oh my God, and it's like fight or flight, and it's all this, whatever. And what you don't understand is, to be a very high performing person, you're built with a certain set of skills. You remember that? Remember that movie with Liam Neeson? And he's like, I have a certain set of skills and, you know, whatever.
Exactly where my mind went.
Oh, I saw you smile. I saw it. He's like, I will find you and I will kill you, you know, whatever. And he's like, you know, whatever. But people who are high performing people are also built with a certain set of skills, and they're problem solvers, and they have the ability to handle issues. They have the ability to handle, you know, turmoil. They have the ability to handle it. And to buy into the lie that you're not supposed to have problems literally eliminates your greatest skill set. But what very successful people are able to do is they're able to change the meaning and look at it and go, when problems arise, finally, it's like Superman hearing a woman yelling across the city. He's like, I'm about to go put the cape on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he's like, I know the outcome of this because I'm Superman. So you made a mistake, bank robber, or you made a mistake because Superman's about to come out. And entrepreneurs and people who are highly successful and people who are whatever, they need to start to realize they're built a little different. They've got a different set of skills. And those skills don't come out until they need to come out, which is when problems arise, which is when issues arise, that's when the cape comes on. So it's actually a good thing.
It is.
Yeah. So
I agree with that.
all right, let's talk social.
Okay.
Right? Nothing else you had to
No, we
throw at
just
me
really
here?
we had to throw that chicken thing out there because it was a hot topic this morning.
No problem with the steak I made last week, or
No, it was a hot topic, like 5 a.m. hot topic.
listen to you guys on these separate text messages I know not of.
Yes, we do have a group chat without you.
I'm aware.
We talk
It's probably
all
a good
the
thing.
time.
It's probably a good thing. I
Yeah.
actually like that. I do.
Yeah, we're all best friends.
I think that's fantastic. I actually do like that. So let's talk about it. You texted me, you said, I want to talk about social media trends. Okay. So you
Yeah.
obviously run our marketing department, which isn't just social. Social is just such a huge part of marketing in today's world. It's kind of marketing 2023. But there's a lot of other forms of marketing, but social is a huge part of it. We actually have marketing reps that we have that actually work with people, work with their social, do it for them, but make it personal, make it like them. So anybody who's interested should check that out. It's just jarjamedia.com, JARJAMEDIA.com, jarjamedia.com. But you sent me some social trends you wanted to go over. I'm going to let this flow as it flows, and then I'll throw in my 2 cents on various places. There's been some new stuff that's even come up the last day or so that we may or may not get to. But what kind of what trends, what tips, are we talking specific to realtors? Are we talking salespeople? Are we talking entrepreneurs? What are we talking?
I would say it falls underneath all 3 of those categories. Video content is becoming bigger and bigger by the day, by the minute. People really need to start like using those tools. Like, they don't have to like download editors. They could be really simple. Like, you could record a 30-second video on your phone, just talk about hot topics. But the thing about that, when you're creating these videos, you don't want to just create a video. You need to have meaning behind the video. You need to have a catchphrase. You want to say, learn how to make 30 million by
like right up front.
Yeah, like
right up front. What's the thing? Learn how to get 20 grand more for your house with doing whatever.
Exactly. You need to have a hook. It's just video content is becoming bigger by the day. Like I said, TikTok is really blowing up, and realtors really need to start.
But will it be around? Did you see what just came out?
I was just thinking this.
Some big news just came up.
I was just thinking this. I was thinking, what's the next hot app that's going to be? Because we had Instagram. I heard Instagram's kind of dying. This is my first time on Instagram in 3 years, but a lot of my friends said it's dying. We had Vine. What happened to Vine? Vine was great. We had GIF Boom. I don't know if you know what GIF Boom was.
Of course, I mean, I know all these. I didn't get super into them. Like, I got on Vine a little bit, but not like crazy. I was more watching it.
Yeah.
It really didn't. This is an important point for everybody. It didn't fit my vibe, so to say. Like,
it makes sense.
I was trying to learn it. I was trying to whatever, but I'm like, I'm not a 6 second or less.
No.
Let's see where this goes. Like, we'll see how this goes. Like, that one I really would have needed help with. Like, I would have needed someone to come in and edit and just pull a quick whatever. But like, I wasn't the Jake Paul doing something funny on there and then moving on to the next. Like, that wasn't my thing.
No, and it's not everyone's cup of tea. I mean, especially depending on what market you work in. So for you, it wouldn't be like that.
Vine wasn't. You made a really important point though. I don't want to skip over. You talked about video. I honestly think when it comes, because I've been doing events all over now and giving people things to do content on. Content to me is easier than ever right now when you look at what the algorithms are pushing. So right now, the really big thing on Instagram and others is the green screen, right?
Yes.
And you've seen me doing this. I'm going to do one today, actually.
A green screen.
And it's not even your content. You literally now on Insta, on TikTok, on Facebook, on all of these platforms now, you can go and take an article. Something about what the mortgage rates just did, something about, you know, what that means for home prices, something about what's happened in the last years, just some kind of article. Like I'm going to do the one on Microsoft making the deal with ChatGPT. So Bing is now going to be powered by ChatGPT. This is trouble for Google.
Yeah.
Like this is big trouble for Google. Okay. Everybody's big till they're not. Everybody's Rome until they're not, you know? And ChatGPT partnering with Microsoft is humongous. And so like nobody even recognized it happened. And so I'm going to do a green screen. And you don't look the point of this podcast is not to tell you click this, click that. To just go on YouTube and say, how do I green screen on Instagram? How do I green screen on whatever? It's so simple.
It really is.
And you just take a clip of that article, which is right behind you on a green screen, and you talk about it.
Yep.
So when you look at interest rates just came down after they went up for like 4 weeks, whatever, talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
What does this mean? What do we think is going to happen? It's not even your content anymore that you have to use. You could be leveraging articles off of CNBC, articles off of Realtor, like just articles and talking about them because it's what you do every single day. The pressure on you to create content, it's not there anymore.
It's not.
Yeah, you want to be able to do content about localized things and, you know, quickest way to get this and where to buy and, you know, how to sell your house quicker and what's the difference between a pre-approval and a pre-qualification. Yes. But from a starting point now, you can leverage articles, do a green screen, which the algorithm loves right now.
It does.
And just talk about it.
Yeah.
What does it mean? Done.
Yep.
Next thing.
Yep.
Easy.
And don't be shy either. Ask your viewers, what do they want to see? Ask them the type of content like they want to see more of.
Yeah.
It's really important to do that. The algorithm too right now, especially on TikTok, I noticed the more you post, the more the algorithm picks it up and the more your videos will get featured. And it only takes that one video. It takes that one
Especially
video to blow up. Yes, it takes. I just did one not too long ago of my new apartment and it blew up. And now I have an Amazon storefront for like house stuff. And it's just
TikTok. It's amazing how the algorithm is changing now.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's not great for people like me because the algorithm is caring less and less, especially on TikTok, about your number of followers. And it's more like, how do we deliver this to people that we think are going to be into it? The real, because I don't want to miss this, and I pulled this up right beforehand because I was reading about it, is TikTok going to be around? So now we've said that for the last year, and it was all like a boogeyman thing. Like, is TikTok going to be around? But they literally just had a thing here, which is crazy. So TikTok is owned by a company called ByteDance, which is a Chinese company.
Yep.
And obviously with the relations between the US and China, things have not, the US is worried about them stealing stuff, stealing information, hearing stuff, having access to all these users, data being leaked, all that kind of stuff, it becoming a propaganda machine. But that's all been hearsay up until now, where it's like, oh, you think they do that. And you had places like the Dakotas and whatever, their government banned it. You had there was a lot of schools, different things had banned it. But now it says last week, the U.S. Foreign Affairs Committee voted in favor of a bill that could give President Joe Biden the ability to ban TikTok in the U.S. along with several other Chinese-owned apps. This bill, known as the Deterring America's Technological Adversaries Data Act, was introduced Friday by committee chairman Michael McCall, then fast-tracked to a vote on Wednesday, which passed 24-16. All Democrats unanimously opposed. I'm not sure what that has to do with the story, but there it is. Either way, it passed, okay? So I'm not going to read the whole thing here. It's happening now.
It's happening.
There's bills being released where, somebody go back on this eventually, and it could be like you wake up one day, TikTok's not an option anymore.
Gone.
And the question is always what's going to take over. And everything I've heard is YouTube Shorts. That all of the influencers I listen to, all of the TikTok influencers, as far as where they bring in their stuff, is YouTube Shorts. And YouTube Shorts, I always had trouble with that because I'm like, but it's YouTube and then it's YouTube Shorts. To me, they'd have to break it off as a separate app. Like that was always the issue. It's like I still think of it. I can't go on YouTube and then am I watching a short or am I watching a YouTube?
Yeah.
Am I doing but all of the influencers I listen to, they're all like YouTube Shorts is TikTok, only owned by a US company. And so they're like all the same features. Oh, this algorithms work the same way. Whatever, it's YouTube Shorts. So now I've been thinking lately, like, okay,
Note to self, download that after this.
yeah, I got to be thinking like, okay, how do I take this stuff and repurpose it over to YouTube Shorts? Because everything you have on TikTok, literally we could wake up tomorrow
and it'll be gone.
Gone. Chinese owned company. Like you don't try to think about that stuff when you're making content and whatever, but like,
especially the influencers that get paid on TikTok.
Oh, it's a reality. It's an absolute reality. And a lot of them I've listened to, like, where are you moving your stuff? Where are you? And YouTube is working right now to change their way that they're paying their influencers and stuff because they want those people and they know what's coming here.
Yeah.
And I'm just telling everybody right now, I've never really talked about this before. I would not be shocked if in the next couple of months, the next 6 months, the next week, like you just don't know with this stuff, that all of a sudden you wake up, TikTok was a thing of the past and they don't allow it here anymore.
Yep. So stop relying on TikTok.
And look, you all know you talk about something and then it shows up on TikTok. Literally you talk about it. Like I'm almost tempted to like talk about a certain thing right now and then just watch how it, boom, there it is. It's a crazy thing. So yes, the TikTok algorithm is different and a lot of other platforms are starting to model after that. Although I'll tell you, like, what I've noticed has picked up a lot lately that I gave up on essentially was Facebook and Facebook fan page. Gave up on them like completely. I was like, these are a waste. The Facebook personal profile still had some reach. Fan pages were a waste. My Facebook stories now many times outnumber my Instagram stories. My Facebook fan page, which would get 3 likes with 30 something, 40 something thousand likes or whatever, where it would get 3 likes when I post something, is acting just like Instagram. Like, and I heard about that happening and now I'm testing it out. Is crazy. Like it's working. It's working now.
Wow.
So it makes you wonder, like, if there's trying to fix, Facebook is now coming in and going because they bought Instagram. Instagram still has that reach, especially with Reels and other things. It's almost like the head company now, Meta, which is Facebook, is like, hey, not that Facebook needs reviving because it's still one of the most used, but their reach went down, especially on fan pages and stuff. And now I'm seeing it come back.
And they put a lot of restrictions too on those.
Yeah, I'm seeing it come back now, which is crazy.
I wouldn't be surprised if Meta comes out with another app similar to TikTok that focuses primarily on Reels only.
Yeah. Well,
like Reels only and not just like your Instagram posts, something totally separate.
Yeah. And that's where, for anybody listening right now, Reels is where it's at when it comes to video.
Yeah.
You get significantly more views with your Reels than you're gonna. And the cool thing is, we were talking about this right beforehand. It was super frustrating for someone like me because TikTok, you can upload up to 10 minutes if you have an account that's approved to do that, right? For a lot of people, it's 3 minutes, but then it can go to 10 minutes. But Instagram was 90 seconds on your Reels, but Facebook was still 60 seconds. So I would have to take a Reel, which I would upload to Instagram. Now I've been uploading it to Facebook personal and my fan page because they're both getting a ton of views, which again, came out of nowhere, right? But you'd make this 87-second. We just did this. Linda and I were flying back from R4. We made a Reel. We changed the Reel. It looked awesome. It was 90 seconds. We changed it down to 59 seconds. So it would fit on Facebook. Now we realized we didn't have to do that because Meta, Facebook just changed their rules. No longer 60-second Reels, 90-second Reels, just like Instagram they own. So now you can take that same Reels, add it to Instagram, add it to Facebook, which is for people who do it all the time. It's such a huge thing. Such a huge thing.
Even with social media, consistency is undefeated.
But shorts, YouTube shorts are still 60 seconds. And really, I think it's at the point where if you upload anything to YouTube that's under 60 seconds, it automatically just puts it on shorts.
I could see that.
Yeah.
It makes more sense. I mean, honestly, I'm not going to go on YouTube and search something and watch a 60-second video.
No.
For the YouTube short, yeah, because that's the purpose of it. But on regular YouTube, I mostly use YouTube for videos longer than a minute,
longer form,
2 minutes.
And I love YouTube for that.
I do too.
I do, but they're going to have to break it off and do some kind of a separate, because when you go on your YouTube app now, there's a separate thing that says shorts. I don't know if you've actually done that yet.
I haven't even looked yet.
Are you serious?
Seriously?
Oh, if I go on YouTube, so look, home, Shorts.
Okay.
There you go. And they're
Okay.
TikToks.
Literally TikTok.
Exact same thing. Scroll,
Oh, yeah.
scroll. It's TikTok.
Yeah. The
It's-
engagement. There's high engagement on
And the
that.
size, exactly. You got to remember, guys, here's the main thing to understand. When I say I think YouTube Shorts is what's going to take over TikTok, what's the second largest search engine in the world? YouTube. What's the first largest? Google. 82% of all search returns is video, which means YouTube is really the largest. So not only do they own the #1 and #2 search engine in the world, you think that shorts aren't going to start showing up when you're searching on Google now? When
No, they
they
definitely
control the algorithm? Like, to me, that's what's coming next. But you know, look, these things can change in an instant. Right now, TikTok is still available in the US. I'm just seeing a lot of signs.
Just don't rely on it.
Just seeing a lot of signs.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. But to your point, video returns on the internet are up 15x what they were 5 years ago. The average user, the average consumer watches 3 hours and 29 minutes of video a day. And many of the people listening are like, that's it? It's not more? Like 83% of people make a decision after watching your video. You know, video. We have to understand that. I said this at the advance, like, you know, your first impression, like what used to be, you never get a second chance to have a first impression. Our first impression with people is not their first impression with us. Because by the time you're getting a first impression with them, they've already watched you.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are having a first impression, or they're not even getting a chance to have a first impression because we're not creating content.
Yep.
You know, and it's this crazy thing. I said it at the arena, and I'm like, hey, how many of you have watched a YouTube video in the last 3 weeks? And they're all like, yeah. I'm like, how many of you have uploaded a YouTube video in the last 3 weeks? Silence. We're acting as marketers differently than we're behaving as consumers.
Yep.
This is how I want to consume, but nobody's going to be able to consume me like that. That's craziness, right? It's why we do this. It's why we don't just put it out on the podcast streams, but we also put it out on YouTube, and we put it out. We'll make little Insta clips, and we'll make little, because we need to give people the opportunity to consume us the same way that we like to consume. And that is the point that agents are missing right now. That's the point the salespeople are like, that's the point they're missing.
Yep. I
Anyway,
agree.
Video.
I totally agree. A video, because honestly, we have a lot of social media clients, and I always encourage all of our clients to try and shoot videos as much as possible because their Instagrams look great. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But the videos, that's what's going to catch people's attention. People want to listen to you. But the one thing about videos, let me just say that make sure you are showing up on camera as you would in person.
Yeah.
You don't want to be someone completely different on camera and then someone meets you in person. I'm not talking about, like, some people, they can talk perfectly in front of a camera. In person, they're shy. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about your actual personality.
Yeah. Who are, that's so true. Like that light goes red, and it's like everybody turns into a newscaster.
Yeah.
Well, hello everybody. Let me do this. And it's just like, who is this carnival act right now? Like that, you know, then it's also look too. You know, like, I mean, I said this the other day at a thing, like if it's taking you 27 takes to do a video, you might have a disconnect between what you think you look like and everybody else sees. Like, you know, they shouldn't eventually meet you and then go, hey, is your daughter coming? Because you hit the right angle, and, you know, the sun hit the right way, and this did whatever, and that did what, everything's just perfect. Like, why is the goal what we look like less than 1% of the time? That shouldn't be the goal. That's not what anybody looks like. That's not what anybody, you know, like this is what you get, you know. What was that TikTok thing? You know, this is what it looks like. That was a trend that went on, where people would actually show what they actually look like. But it's true. Like, that's what video, like a picture doesn't really grasp like who you are. It doesn't have voice inflection. It doesn't have video. When you're just being yourself, you see how people think, you hear how they talk, you hear their
personality matters. It matters more than your picture that you're posting.
Way more. People are attracted to personalities.
Absolutely.
Like, it's what makes there's plenty of pretty people, unpretty people, whatever. Personalities are really.
My favorite thing is my friends say I look so mean in every picture that I take, but then they're like, but then you meet me in person and you are nowhere close to me. And I'm like, oh yeah.
You're probably one of those people, when you take a picture, you have to do like the Zoolander, but in the modern version.
No.
The modern female version of Zoolander, you know, you got to do like sleek and do like, you know, whatever.
Yeah, I don't think so. What? I'm just a weird individual in person. Tom can vouch for that.
I'm just a weird individual.
Yeah.
Wow. I haven't seen the super weird side yet. Like that. That's yeah. Interesting. What is weird?
I can't really.
Jenna would probably be able to answer that the best because she sits right next to me and she experiences it.
You guys hang out a little bit too, right?
Yeah, but I guess sometimes like I just bark.
You just bark?
Yes.
I'm sorry, what? Just like a bark?
Yeah.
Like a like
yeah, I don't know. I don't
Wow.
know.
Yep.
Just
she
something I
identifies as
do.
Cocker Spaniel. That's what I just heard. She's a Doberman Pinscher. Like what?
Rachel said that I'm really weird, but in the best way possible. So
Well, she would love. Yeah, I get that. I get
yeah.
that. Yeah. I get that. Interesting. I don't think I've heard you randomly bark.
I mean, I don't do it that often. It's just sometimes when I'm sitting and I'm zoned in and I just get bored.
Little Tourette's of dog sounds. Interesting. The bark. Okay. All right. That is an interesting one. Now I'll be listening up for it. Don't do it now.
No, you just gotta ask Jenna. You just gotta ask Jenna because
Yeah.
she just stares at me and now she's like over it. She sent me something on TikTok. I mean, no, Instagram the other day. Now that I have an Instagram again, she was like, I can send you stuff. And it was a post and it was like, I make random animal sounds. We are not the same. And she sent it to me and she's like, this is you. And I'm like,
yeah, this is your fake account right here. You put this out. Well, now I know what I'm going to do for any of the listeners right now, because as usual, I have Teddy sitting right next to me here, being great, just sleeping, doing whatever. But if he does hear a sound and start to bark, I'll just blame it on her. Like, there she goes
Put the
again.
blame on me.
We'll cut the video, whatever. We'll just make it sound like this is what happened here. Yeah. All right. What else? So anything else with the video or
that was it for the video. Just keep posting. Just post as much as you can. It gets tiresome. I mean, for me too. Like sometimes I am on 100 and I'm posting every single day. I'm posting 5 times a day on TikTok. And then it's like I go 2 weeks without anything because it gets a lot. But the more you post, the better the outcome is.
Yeah, I saw in your notes, you said something about posting 1 to 2 times a day. And I'm just like, God, I don't know if I could do that.
It's hard.
I do stories a lot.
Stories are good too, because the more stories you post, you're gonna, how you go on Instagram and you see like the first 5 people.
Yeah.
The more stories you post, you're gonna be right there.
I actually think stories are the most valuable view left on the internet.
I agree.
And what I mean by that is I go on YouTube, I go on TikTok, I go on Instagram, I go on Facebook, I go on YouTube. It's all an algorithm. Who shows up in my feed? When I post something, all of my people don't see it. You know what I'm saying? Like it's whether the algorithm hits it or not. And so it might have scrolled through, they saw it, it counted as a view.
Like 50% of your followers.
That's exactly it. Probably more.
Yep.
Every single view on a story, which is those little circles at the top, every single one of them took their finger and went, I want to see what he has to say.
Yep.
Every view is valuable. Whereas the other stuff is all algorithm. It's some of it mattered. Some of them stayed on for 3 seconds. Some of them did whatever. Every single view on a story.
Sliding through the stories, they're seeing it.
Even if they slide through, if they viewed it, it means they clicked it.
They clicked it.
It doesn't count as a view for them sliding through to see who posted. They have to click that little circle with your face on it and say, I want to know what Lex is up to.
Oh yeah, because it says tap to view now.
That's it.
Yep.
Like you have to, like, it's the most valuable view left on the internet. It's the most pure, has nothing to do with the algorithm, nothing to do with it's just every single viewer said, I want to know. I want to be in your world for a second.
I love stories.
And that's not being leveraged enough. I think stories are one of the most powerful things that we have from the perspective of showing all parts of our life, whether it's the did you sweat today or whether it's the showing the salad with my kids, or whether it's showing an arena pic, live, or whether it's showing a fan pic, taking a picture with someone, or whether it's showing me and my dog, or whether it's showing you doing something with your son, or whether it's showing you being in Miami, or whatever it is. The stuff we think is boring. It's why the Kardashians had such a popular show.
Yes.
What is boring every day, whatever, everyone else is interested in.
It's true.
And we have to remember that.
True.
Yeah. And not because what you're doing is boring. It's because you're doing it.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it interesting.
I agree.
And to your friends, to your clients, to your whatever, doesn't matter how interesting, not interesting. It's interesting to them. That's all that matters. It's kind of like a fence. I can say something, I'm not offended you. Well, you feel it's real to you. It's not real to me. I'm like, why would you feel it? That's ridiculous. That's stupid. That's whatever. But you feel it just as real. When I put something out and I think it's boring, doesn't matter. I think it's boring. You're interested in it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, that's stupid. It's boring. Doesn't change that what you actually feel there is real and you're interested in it. Stories are a monster that people are just they're not leveraging enough.
Yeah. And
Get active.
it's a great way to engage too with your audience
Yeah.
stories, even if it's video, or you can swipe up and ask questions and
Polls
stuff
and
like that. Yeah,
questions and
it's a great way for engagement to happen.
I did one the other day and I said, I'll be honest, I get tired of doing the did you sweat todays. I'm just like, I'd rather just come work out and move on. Like I don't need to every day post a sweaty pic or post a whatever. And so I posted a thing and I said, guys, love you, whatever. Should I stop doing these? Like, do you get anything from this or should I just stop doing it? Whatever. And it was overwhelming. Keep doing it. It either makes me feel like crap and says, make me go, or it pushes me to do whatever. And like, you don't see that side because I'm taking it from my perspective and I'm going, I'm here regardless. I'm good. And then when I got the overwhelming response I realized, whether they're interacting or not, whether they're messaging you or not, there's a big group of people who are going, I got to get in. I got to go do. I got to whatever.
I'm one of those people. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
Every time I'm in the gym, it's in my head. Did you sweat today? And I'm like, I'm doing it. I'm here. I did it.
Isn't that crazy? Like how I put up a story the other day. I think they just got out of the gym and they said, what was it? It was no. It was a picture from the conference.
Mm-hmm.
They took a picture. They were up in like the nosebleeds and they took a picture down on the stage and they said, this guy is the reason that every day I think to myself, consistency is undefeated. It's funny how those taglines just have like there's things people can grab onto. And the more you can be in front of people and become that staple, you don't need to be consistency is undefeated, # did you sweat today in your area, right? Like my market is different. My market is the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your market, if you're watching this or listening to this, is probably just local area. So what do you do to stay top of mind? And in the old days, that was, send out 3,000 flyers, which can still work. In the old days, that was go knock on 500 doors, which still worked. That in the old days, there's all these things you did that you could still do. But now you have this non-intrusive, free format where you can be just as visible, if not more, with little things like your
Most
kids getting on the
importantly,
school
it's
bus.
free.
Boom. Post regularly. And they see you all the time because the worst thing you can ever hear from someone is, I would have used you if I knew that you were in real estate. I would have, if I remembered that you were around, that's how you do it today. It's not always with a, local mortgage rate. It's what's going on in your life. And then they start to connect you as not just the real estate person, which there's 9,000 of them in your area. Now you're the mother, sister, father, brother, husband, whatever, who happens to sell real estate to pay for their family, to handle now it's a different connection.
I recently realized that when I came back to Instagram, how many people like reached out to me and they were like, what happened? Where'd you go? I didn't even know you exist anymore. And now I'm like reconnecting with like my old friends that I have, like, they have me on other like platforms. They have my numbers, but for some reason, me being on Instagram, they want to see what I'm doing.
100%.
Like all my friends were like, I want to see what you're doing. Like, can you like come back? And I'm like, okay, it's time.
Isn't that crazy how you don't even think like that? But then it's like, as much as everybody talks about how non-connected the world is, when it's handled correctly, it makes it so connected, so interconnected, right? Like it's and here's another thing too, when we're talking about tips and tricks and that kind of stuff. I'm a big believer that as the world becomes bigger and bigger and bigger, and there's internet and there's social and there's all these kind of things, as you guys know, I answer every one of my DMs, my direct messages, unless they're just stupid or like inappropriate or, whatever. Right. But I answer every one of my DMs. Right. And people always like, why do you do that? That's insane. Why do you do that? And I always want to go point to their life and point to the things they do that bring absolutely no value and go, why do you do that? It's absurd. You don't have time to do that. Because in my world, the way I look at it is, and this is a business principle overall. This is if you're local community, this is big world, this is whatever. The bigger the world becomes, the more connected, the more internet, the more social, the smaller you can make your community feel like yours is, the more you're going to win.
That is very true.
And so if someone cares enough to send me a DM out of the tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands and whatever, the ones who send a message and I just reply back with an emoji or I reply back with a, awesome or, whatever it is, you just made the world very small for them, which connects that tribe. So when you look at it from whether you're local sales, local realtor, local, whatever it is, you look at that community and you look at the stuff you're posting and the stories you're posting and the stuff they're posting and you're engaging with them and you're commenting with them and you're replying to every message. You don't have time to do that. Give me a break. That is such bull crap. Like if I can reply to my messages, you can reply to your messages. Okay. And you're on there doing every single one of them. Do you know how tight knit you just made your community?
Yes.
Like it is, yesterday in the sauna, I spent the whole time, other than when I had to sit on the phone before it overheated, going through those last 3 posts, the reels. I was in a group with a lot of whatever, and then it was Facebook, Instagram, and then that group I was in. And there were hundreds of comments, and literally went through on every single one of them. And was just like, fire emoji, this, that, thumbs up, boop, 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 next, every single person.
And something simple as a like is going to make that person very happy.
They're like,
and they're going to love you even more.
We're connected.
Yep.
We're connected.
Yep.
Now think about how you can do that locally in a way that you used to have to go get coffee and talk for 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for a moment of their day, they're thinking of you and you're thinking of them. Connectivity.
Yep.
It took nothing. And that's what social does that a lot of people aren't understanding is as big as the world becomes, the smaller you can make it feel for your community, the more you're going to win. And that's where people are missing it. Anyway.
I agree with that.
What else? What other trends do we need to talk about? What else you got?
Guess we can just talk about, I honestly am really curious as to what the next app's going to be. I do believe the YouTube Shorts, but I do believe someone's going to come out with something else.
I wonder about this because I always looked at our platforms because they were new.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, who's going to win, right? And I look at it like early TV, right? CBS, Fox, NBC, like those kind of things. But once they hit, those were your network channels.
Mm-hmm.
There's a big part of me. I mean, look, I'm on Be Real. Like that's another one that came out that, I'm on Be Real. Like I'm on
You do
there.
it every single day.
I do it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I do. I got
I
kids.
have the app and I've done it maybe like twice and I get the notifications every day.
I want to know what my kids are doing. So I'm on Be Real. But when you talk about the core, this hasn't been a little while now. Like when you look at Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, like it's been a while now.
It's been a long
They
time.
have not gotten overtaken. Now there's been like conservative ones that have come out because people were tired of Twitter censoring everybody. There's been ones that have tried to compete with YouTube because they were tired of YouTube censoring whatever, but they've got such a grip that I wonder sometimes, is this ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox? Or are they going to, because in the beginning it was constant rotation.
Mm-hmm.
Will Vine make it? No, they're not going. Like there was that constant rotation, but that was early putting the flag in the ground.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like that was new, once Ireland was called a country, flags down, and so one thing I know is there's always constant change, but in the short term, there's a lot that have peaked up. There's a lot of TBSs and TNTs. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of Be Real.
Yeah.
Whatever. But when you talk about Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter is a big one, although, whatever. When you talk about those types of things, TikTok, we'll see what's going to happen. I don't know. It's such a huge mountain to climb. I don't know.
They're not going to go anywhere anytime soon.
But what's your feeling? Because you were saying like what's going to be next?
Just from my view, from it going from Gift Boom to Vine,
right,
to Musically
over to TikTok,
right? Somebody is going to come out with a new app. I just know it. I know that somebody is going to come out with a new app, and all it takes is just for a few people to start posting on it. I mean, that's what happened with Musically. Just a few people started posting on it, and then it became a big thing. And now,
but what happens with, this is where, like I always talk about with businesses and stuff, I talk about the stickiness of them. And, the reason why it's tough to switch a CRM is because you got all your data in there.
Yep.
The reason why it's tough to, there's a lot of different things where it's like, well, that's tough because I'm going to get rid of everything. So when you look at these platforms, so for example, I have on YouTube, I have millions of views and I have all of my library and I've got subscribers. So I'm going to give that up to go and start fresh.
No.
Like I'm going to take Facebook where it's giving you memories all the time of your kids and your friendships and your whatever. And it's like giving up an email address.
Yeah.
Like you're always going to hold on to that sucker because you don't know what's going to come in. So that's where I kind of go, I don't know, because there was room in the beginning. It's kind of like you have a certain amount of room for a certain number of friends. But once you hit that, you can meet the nicest person in the world. But in your head, you're like, I don't have any room for another good friend. Like there's just no room.
Well, that's the thing is you want to stay consistent on every social media platform that you're on. Like don't just utilize one and post once a year on the other.
Right.
Keep it consistent. Post the same stuff. Nothing's wrong with that.
Yeah. It's
as far as like Facebook memories go, I mean, I hope Facebook doesn't end anytime soon, because that would be probably a loss for everyone, because a lot of people use Facebook. Every generation.
Every year they go, it's the demise of Facebook. It's going away. It's going, and it just keeps on growing.
It just keeps on growing.
Look how much data.
I mean, I never even used Facebook until the last 2 years, and now I'm on Facebook every day. I never thought I would use Facebook.
That's interesting. That's such an interesting market dynamic. But look, one of the most common questions I get when I talk social is what's the, you know, I know there's all these platforms. What's the one you should use? Whenever I hear that question, I understand where it comes from, but it's like asking me, what's the one piece of clothing you're going to wear today? You can go pants, no shirt, go shoes, nothing else. You're going to go, that's how ridiculous that question is. Because you got to get fully dressed. There's not just one. And when people say, well, what's the difference in the platforms, right? So I do go a little bit different on YouTube than I do on Facebook or Instagram a lot of times, but like, it's like meals. It's like if I came down as an alien and I looked down on this planet, I would look at food and it would all be food.
We would be food.
But if no, I mean, food would be food, meaning like, you know, I'd see a banana, I'd see an apple, I'd see a steak. It's all the same. Salad, lettuce, romaine. They'd be like, you know, what are you talking about? It's all lettuce, right? But when you interact in it every single day, you know the difference between breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You know the difference between dessert. You don't have chocolate cake for breakfast. But to the outside world, it's all food. So when I hear someone say to me, well, you know, what's the one I should be on? Or what's the difference? What I know is that you're not interacting on social. Because while from the outside, it's all this bigger social media, I know the difference between Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and I know them when I'm on them. I know there's certain things I'll put on Facebook I don't put on the other ones. Like a lot of times the things that are more personal, family, whatever, I'll put those over there. And then Instagram, I got my, like, it's because I interact on it every day. And so while it's all food, it's all meals, we know the difference in the meals, right? Bacon and eggs is breakfast. We know, it doesn't mean you can't have it over here. It means we know it's breakfast. You know what I mean? Like that's the difference when people don't understand the platforms. It's like, because you're not interacting in them. Once you started interacting, you'd know the difference between Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and like YouTube and whatever, because it's all food. You got to know the difference in the meals. And the only way you know that is by eating the meals on a regular basis.
So what are your thoughts on realtors having their business Instagram account, not Facebook page, business Instagram account, and then personal?
Having two different ones?
Yes.
I hate that.
I hate it too, because here's the thing.
You're missing the point.
Yeah, you're missing the point. People want to see they want to see you. They want to get to know you as a person.
Here's what they don't want. They don't want a business account with nothing but listings and open houses.
Absolutely not.
That's called, I'll follow it because I know you, but I'm not actually going to follow it.
Exactly.
The only thing that makes that open house worthwhile is because you're doing it. And the only reason why I care about you doing it is because I care about all the other areas of your life. Now it matters to me. That's why we love actors and actresses. That's why when Tom Hanks is playing in a whatever, we know Tom Hanks. And we're like, oh, there's Tom Hanks. It's not, look at that amazing character. I want to go watch this movie because that looks like an amazing plot. No, it's like Tom Hanks is playing opposite of, and you're like, I want to go see that. You know what I mean? Tom Hanks is opposite Denzel Washington. What's the plot? That's secondary, but primary is the personality.
Yeah.
Right. And so when you create a separate Instagram business, you're showing that you don't understand that the plot is secondary. The personality is primary. Okay. And so it's okay to put business and personal up on that sucker because it's you. Because it's you.
So if you have two different Instagram pages, delete one and focus on one. If you do that, watch your engagement go up by 100.
Yeah, it's
seriously.
Crazy. It's crazy. Facebook, you have to, because in order to run ads, you can only run ads on a business page or on my fan page. So in order for me to have a business or a fan page, I have to have a personal profile. Facebook makes you do that. Okay. Instagram, that's not the case. Instagram, I can have a business. You know, people are always like, should I do a personal account, business account? I always say go business now, because the algorithm changed a long time ago where it didn't make a difference, business or personal, but it gave you all of the analytics and it gave you the ability to boost and promote.
I've always had a business Instagram account.
There was a time when there's a video out there where I didn't recommend it because it was similar to Facebook in the sense that the algorithm would not show business pages. And then it changed. And they were like, doesn't matter. Either one's good. We're not gonna detract for you having a business. So once you go business now you're able to have your phone number, all your information, everything in the contact. You're able to boost posts and promote posts.
You'll also see what posts do the best.
That's my point. You're able to now see the insights on what's working, what's not, who's your demographic, there's all these things you could do you couldn't do with the personal, but having two is that's just adding work.
It is. I agree.
Yeah. It's not the year, look, 1998, sure. There was a veil between business and personal.
And your account's not going to grow if you're only posting listings and stuff like that.
Nobody cares about that stuff.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Again, we tell all of our social media marketing clients, like, try to post as much personal stuff as possible. Like, if you engage with your community, all send us pictures, like, just send us stuff so we can post, because people, they want to see you. They want to see your personality. They want to see who your team is as a whole. Like, they don't want to just see your listings.
Connect personally.
Yep.
That's it. That's how we are. Like I said, if we learned anything during COVID, people needed people.
Yes.
You don't just go and isolate and not see anybody and think the world's just going to be okay. Like, people need people, and people want to connect with people, and people want to live through your story, and people want to, like, that's the thing we learn from that, So yeah, I'm not a fan. I think it shows a certain ignorance to how thin the veil is now between personal and business. Just the fact that I'm sitting here like this, that's the world we live in now. It doesn't discredit my message. It doesn't discredit getting up in front of an arena. It adds to it.
It does.
You're like, he does that? He's sitting there with his dog next to him. Didn't even do his hair. He's going to pick up his boys from school, and his hair. And then he goes and stands in front of an arena. Now I can actually relate to that. Like, that's a different thing now.
People want to relate to you.
That's it.
That's the biggest thing right now with social media, is they want to be able to relate.
Yeah. We love Superman because we know he's Clark Kent. It's the second Superman example today, but it's the truth. It's what makes him so, like, amazing, is we're like, the guy just fumbling over himself.
Yeah.
The guy who doesn't know how to talk to a girl. Like, the guy, like, that's Superman. I could be Superman, it's a different thing. So I do want to make sure we cover something that I know was in your notes that I think is really important. Is you talked about prioritizing SEO.
Yeah.
So why don't you kind of tell people what SEO is and tell us what you mean by that?
So you want to prioritize SEO right now, because the first thing people are going to do when they're looking to sell or buy a home, they're going to go on Google, because it's the #1 search engine, and they're going to search realtors near me. And what's going to come up is 100 different names. And let me just tell you, the first name that comes up, they have a really good SEO. And by that,
What's
I mean
SEO? Like, do you want to tell
search engine optimization.
You're going to get crucified, by the way, for saying realtors. Like, realtors are going to kill you. Like, it's
realtors.
Yeah. So it's realtors. And this is a thing in the real estate community. Sorry, they can't stand it when people say realtors.
Okay. No one hate me for that.
Yeah. So don't worry, guys. I handled it for all of you out there. Don't send her messages. Yeah.
Please don't do that.
It's like a joke at conferences. They're like, realtors. There's no A. It's just realtors.
I mean, I can barely even say egg, so.
All right. So anyway, SEO, search engine optimization. Okay.
Yeah. So there's different sources that you can use for it. It's really just getting your name out there. And here's the thing about it, though, is you can't just go ahead and pay for it and your name's going to come up right away. You're going to be the first one. It doesn't work like that. It does take time. You still have to build it organically.
Yep.
And organic ways are you just posting on the internet. Like, that's all organic SEO, but you can also pay for SEO, and you could pay for your name to pop up everywhere. It's going to take time.
Meaning, when you say you can pay for your name to pop up, are you talking about pay-per-click? Are you talking about retargeting? Like what are you talking about?
I'm talking about SEO.
Okay.
I guess you could say something like pay-per-click, but not really. It's just like, if you search right now on your phone, the only example I have is extermination, but that's because that's what I've worked in before. I'm going to search pest control near me.
Yeah.
And it's really, a lot of it has to do with Google ads too, and AdWords. So I guess, pay-per-click.
Yeah.
It's really important right now, and you definitely want to prioritize it, especially in your local markets.
And be looking at, so here's a little trick that I've been talking about at events lately is, and this is such a pro tip, and it's like gold for anybody who takes this. Okay. When you go and you Google something, right? And you Google best agent in blank or number or whatever it is, right? All those search results come up, right? And what you'll notice is you'll notice people who end up at the top. You want to see why they end up at the top. But about halfway down the page, it's going to say people also searched. And what you're going to see is about 6 to 8 specific searches that Google is now showing you. And what they're telling you is, make videos with this exact title
Mhm.
because Google just showed you their algorithm.
Mhm.
And they're like, when they say people also search, it's their way of being like, let's fix this for you.
Yeah.
This is not what this is, that's not what you search. Here's what we're going to return. And so you take, and you could do that with anything. You could do that with finding a mortgage broker. You could do that with, like exterminator. You could do it, whatever. Search whatever you're going to search, act normal, go halfway down the page. It says people also searched. There'll be about 6 to 8 to 10 different searches that Google's showing you. Google is telling you their algorithm. Literally go make videos with those exact titles. And in the same way, YouTube.
Organic SEO.
That's
what
it.
is.
Google just gave you their algorithm.
Yep.
Look at YouTube. You go on YouTube and you search, whatever best way to sell your home in blank or whatever it is, right? Don't worry about the exact returns that show up in YouTube. What you're looking for is on the right-hand side where it shows those recommended, that little Google vortex, that little YouTube vortex that shows up. Look for local videos that have 23,972 views. Local.
Mm-hmm.
What you want to do is you want to go shoot videos that have those exact titles. Start siphoning off the views from those videos because what YouTube is showing you is that's our algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're showing to people right there. And that right there, everybody who's listening right now, everybody who's watching, is one of the quickest, easiest ways that you can figure out what's the smartest thing for me to create for a title for my videos. Like, because they're giving you their algorithm with their people also searched.
Yep.
It's like, here you go. Now, what do you do with it? Now, a lot of you hear that and you're like, that's so freaking simple though. Why have I never done that? Well, who do you know that does that? Just shows how dumb most of us are about the internet and how most of us are about YouTube and how most of us are about how search actually works. That's one of the quickest, easiest, simplest pro tips that you could do right away. And you could do it with a lot of different things.
Honestly, the internet seems so complicated and just technology and whole, but it's really not.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, that was a great example of that, is that the internet seems so hard, but they're literally giving you the material you need.
What's the site? Not Ask the Public. What's the name of the site? The one that shoot, this is going to bother me. I wish I had a search here so I could actually give me 2 seconds and I will find this because I know that I have this somewhere. There's an actual site, which of course I can't remember. Answer the Public. Answerthepublic.com. When you go on answerthepublic.com, what you can do, look at this right here. You actually go on here and you type in your local area, very specific things, right?
Wow.
Like you could say like best real estate coach or whatever it is, shows you like 360 different topics, the why, how, when, where, the exact searches people do. And now that's what I got to title this video as. That's the exact title I'm going to use right there. And answerthepublic.com actually shows you what people in your area, when you put your location, the exact things that they search around the topic that you just put in. Now you know the exact title to use on your video. It's an amazing tool. Amazing tool.
However, if you are me or Andrea, do not use that website.
How come?
Because me and Andrea are health freaks, and anytime we have a headache or something, we think there's something more serious, and we would probably go on that website to search it.
That's too funny. I just joked about that at the advance at another event. I said we become so extreme that like we get the sniffles, we go on WebMD and we figure out we have 2 weeks to live. It's like when you get out of the shower, are you still wet? When you wake up in the morning, are you still a little tired? You might be dead in 2 weeks. And it's just like, whoa, like this is insane. Yeah,
I'm one of those people.
Yeah, when you step in mud, is your foot dirty? Well, then you might be dead in 2 weeks.
Chris said something to me last week, and I ended up going to the dermatologist the next day.
Oh my God.
Because he gave me anxiety over it. So
that is
just for her to say, you are fine, it is normal.
That's crazy. So now here's the funny thing. We could probably meet in the middle because I'm the exact opposite. I always assume everything's just fine. You know what I mean? Like until I get evidence to the contrary, I'm like,
I used to never think about this stuff. And I mean, maybe it was COVID. Maybe it wasn't COVID. I have no idea what.
I think it messed up a lot of people. I think COVID messed up a lot of people's psyche.
I do think having a kid also influences that because like, obviously I want to be my healthiest, best version of myself. Of course. I don't know. I don't know.
That's the kid thing is one of the reasons why I do the Did You Sweat Todays and everything. It's you want to be around with your kids. You want to see your grandkids grow up. Like you have to have the foresight to realize I'm not there yet. I'm not at that age. I'm not whatever.
That influence on me around because like I think about my mom with the cancer. That's right. So maybe it's just me. I always want to make sure I'm okay.
Yeah, I don't know if you
never
want to
know.
touch that or not, but you had an experience where your mother passed away when you were young.
Yeah.
And so that obviously
That plays a huge role because I think about how I have my own son now, and
that has a huge part to do
it's
with
a
it. Come
huge
on.
thing. Like my mom never got to meet him. I want to be able to meet his kids one day if he has
Yeah.
kids. Like I want to be, and I was just talking about this with the office like not too long ago, but my mom was only 56 when she passed away.
Which is not old.
Not old at all. But then my aunt, which was her only sister,
Yeah.
also passed away at 56 from a heart attack.
So you start to hear that.
You start to see these things, like these trends in my family. And I mean, my dad's side, they're all pretty healthy, but
Yeah.
I see the trends on my mom's side and it scares me. So
course.
like I always want to make sure I'm okay, and my health is very important to me right now.
Yeah,
It's
because you
like
know
the
what's
number one
possible.
thing. Yeah.
Everybody assumes you're gonna be around forever, but then you see stuff and you're like, I was thinking about this the other day with like something came up about the Kobe Bryant
Yeah.
thing, and I'm just like, did that really happen?
I know.
That's not supposed to be able to happen.
No.
You know, like that's not like, I know people die every day, but Kobe Bryant? I'm like, didn't he like jump out of the helicopter right before it landed?
Yeah.
And he's like hiding out somewhere. Like it's just like you realize my son won't like me telling the story, but the John Mayer song, Stop This Train, used to make my son bawl because it was such a reality of like, if you go look at the lyrics on that song about only being good at being young and how he's one generation away from living life on his own and all these kinds of things. His whole thing was, Dad, I need you to be around. Like, I need my kids to like be like,
Yeah.
I need you to have a relationship with my kids. I need them to know you. I need
Yeah.
them to whatever. And it was this, listening to that song was like his first reality that like, Dad's not going to be here one day. Like that is what?
It's a scary feeling.
Yeah. What?
From
like,
someone
what are we
who
talking about?
experienced it, it is a scary feeling. And although the grief never, I just saw something on Facebook actually, is that the grief never really ends. It's just you grow around it.
Yeah.
So you become a bigger person, and eventually the grief, eventually in time, it starts
You
to
learn how to-
lower. But
yeah.
then there's moments like when I graduated last year, like, wow, my mom didn't get to see me graduate from college,
Yeah.
but it would have been cool if she was here. There's things like that. Like you want, like, I wish my mom was there to see Braden being born. Like,
Yeah.
I wish that stuff had happened. I just told my aunt, because my aunt was seriously like the last person on my mom's side to be
Yeah.
alive. And I told her like a month before she had her heart attack was, I need you to live until you're like 85. Like,
Yeah.
seriously, like
Yeah.
you need to be around, like you need to see Braden grow up, and
Yeah.
then life just happens. You never know.
I remember you saying that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that definitely has something to do with it.
It hits
Because you're
hard.
thinking, when you look at how much of what happens to people, well, there's two sides to this. A lot of stuff that happens to people is because they just wasn't preventative. They didn't catch something quick enough. But then the other side I would say to you is it's something like almost 70% of all disease was completely preventable. It's just stress related. Like stress causes so much preventable disease
Absolutely.
because it just, the way it messes up our body and messes things up, and lack of exercise and all these other kind of things that are happening, where it's like this counter thing where it's like you start to care too much, then it turns into stress, and then you cause something because you're too stressed, and it's just like comes from a good place, but ultimately ends up backfiring.
And I honestly think that's me. And I think a lot of it also has to do with the fact that my mom knew she had cancer before she actually went to go get it treated, which, yeah, she hid it from us for quite a while.
Oh, like she knew and didn't want to get it treated.
And the most messed up part is I was 13 and I
Wait.
actually knew, but I didn't know. It's
What was
just
the
like
thought process behind that? Like
I
she was thinking it would just go away?
I don't know what her thought process was behind it. I really don't. I don't know if she knew she had it. I wish she just went earlier. I don't know if it's just because she has 7 kids.
I was gonna
and-
say, probably didn't want to scare everybody. And then there's also this feeling of, because you never go through death, it's like, well, I'm not going to die. Like, you know, because
Until
I've
it
never had
actually
that.
happens.
Yeah, that's my point, is that you have this feeling of invincibility where it's like, well, that can't happen. That's never happened. So
Mhm.
why would that happen? Well, of course, it's the only thing that happens once, right? So it's probably a protection of the kids and not wanting to freak everybody out. And
But it freaked everyone out because my brothers refused to go to the doctors, and I'm like, beg them, and I'm like, please.
you mean
just-
to this day, or you
to
mean back
this
then?
day, they like are super
wow.
weird about going to doctors, and they actually recently just started, and I'm really happy because I just view it as
Yeah.
everyone like we got to be. I want to be healthy.
That's
like everyone
old,
should
that's
be
old school
healthy.
thinking there. That's the whole, if I don't get diagnosed, I don't have anything. I'll
Yeah,
just be okay.
whereas I'm the opposite. I diagnose myself and then scare myself.
I was gonna say there's a middle. There is a balance. There
Yeah.
is what was I just going through? I forget exactly what it was, but I was just going through something with Linda and was freaking her out a little bit. And I just said, hey, let me tell you what we're not going to do. We're not going to worry about things that haven't happened. Like we're just not going to do that. Right. There's that old line.
Or search Google and freak yourself out.
That's exactly it. Right. Remember that? There's that old line, right? When you worry, you suffer twice.
Yes.
Once when you worry about it and once if it ever actually happens. Right. There's just like those things are such common phrases, whatever, but I actually believe them. I really do. Cause I'm like, we're not stopping anything by think about all the things you worry about. The 99 out of 100 never happen, but you still cause the stress on your body to where it affects and causes other things. It's like, this wasn't worth it, right? It's okay to be concerned about something and saying, let's go check this out. Let's whatever. But there's this other level that people go to where it's just like, it takes over their life. And it's like, and they go down this road where it's like, it's already happened. Here's what's going to happen here. What am I going to do with this one? And it's just like, nothing's happened. And that was literally the moment I had to be with, because I could see her doing that. And I'm like, hey, none of that's real. You know what I mean? Like none of that is real. It literally was all right here.
I used to do that, but I got over it.
We just had that with,
it's bad anymore.
We had that with the house selling and like something happened with the buyer or whatever. And it's like, she's like, well, then this can happen. What if that happens? What if that? I'm like, whoa, we literally just had an inspection scheduled. Yeah. None of that happened.
Stop talking about the what ifs.
Yeah, none of that has happened. You know what I mean? But it's very easy, especially when you're going through an experience where you haven't gone through it before. If you're a person who prepares or is used to controlling things or is used to whatever, of just going, okay, you play it out. What's going to happen here? What's the, where's it going to go next? Where's it going to go next? And then you're messing with this thing, the mind, which very rarely understands the difference between conscious and subconscious. So once you go, subconscious on something and you think about it, to your mind, it's just as real. If I go like this up your arm and somebody's behind you, they say, there's a spider on you. You don't see my hand doing that up your arm. In your mind, there's a huge freaking spider on you. And you will react. Kevin James had a great bit one time. You guys know Kevin James, right? Kevin James, he was from, what's that show?
Oh, yeah.
It's so funny. I was going to go to the sitcom, but yeah.
You're gonna Queens,
yeah. King of Queens. But he has a great bit in his stand-up where he talks about going on a guy's trip and they're out there for the first time he's water skiing. He's up there and then he falls in the water and he's holding onto the thing and he's waiting for them to get reset and get going. And he says, I learned that day that I scream the same way if a great white attacks my right leg or if a piece of seaweed touches my foot. Because to him, he's just in the water like a meal. Piece of seaweed touches his foot and he was just in Jaws. Like he's, you know what I mean? And right here, it was all the same.
Yeah.
It's all the same.
Yeah.
This is a powerful thing right here. It's a powerful thing right here. Like it's, I wrote a book once called Get Out of Your Way. But it's all this. Yeah, it's all this. It's all this. Like it's just mind. Most of us mind screw ourselves. If that's even a thing. But
I do every day.
Yeah. Anyway, any other anything else we need to talk about? Any other social things we should talk about? I think we covered the gambit.
I think we covered everything.
We got a nice long podcast going on here, which goes a lot of different directions.
Yeah.
So awesome. You want to tell people how to connect with you?
Yeah, I mean, you can connect with me at Jarja Media.
There you go. JarjaMedia.com.
Yeah.
JarjaMedia.
That's really it.
Yeah. It's not like you want to be connected with.
You can send me an email. It's Alexis you can either do Alexis at JarjaMedia.com or you can do Alexis at jaredjamestoday.com.
Yeah, we have the two of them. Yeah. And a lot of people don't know this. You are kind of the force behind the advance now.
Yes.
Planning everything and getting that. So for all of you that were thrilled with this last year's advance and how everything came together and how organized it was and everything else, that was our girl Lex over here, just stressing in the background.
Absolutely.
So that's good. That's good. I thought she did an amazing job with that. I saw you just sent me the outline for 2023 advance.
Yes, it's starting
October 23rd, 24th.
Yeah.
Right. October 23rd, 24th, Nashville, guys, get your tickets.
Back to Nash.
Guaranteed. We'll probably have the largest audience we've ever had there. So get your tickets, guys, jaredjamestoday.com/advance. As always, love everybody who listens here, watches here. We hope we get a chance to work with you guys, whether it's through coaching or whether it's through working with you as a social marketer or working with you with a transaction coordinator, clearedandclosed.com. They'll change your life. As you know, we had them on the last podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed this. We covered a lot of different topics. So hope you enjoyed it. As usual, if you did, share it with someone else. Make sure you give it a 5-star rating, a thumbs up, anything you can do on it, depending on what platform you are. Make sure you subscribe. Go to connectwithjared.com. Connect on all the platforms, guys. I got a lot of travels coming up. Upcoming here that I find boring, but that you will find interesting, as we talked about earlier. Yeah.
I wish I could travel all the time.
Oof,
I'm going to Miami next
that
week.
just that when I hear someone say I wish I could travel all the time, that tells me they don't travel all the time. Because when you travel all the time, all you want to do is be home. People are like, what's your favorite city? Home. That's my favorite city. That is by far my favorite city.
The cold state of Connecticut.
It doesn't even matter. If I lived in Antarctica, just something about being home. When you're jumping around.
Yeah, Tom wants to live in Antarctica.
Yeah, well, you're a whack job.
Yeah, he is.
But no, traveling is what almost made me stop doing public speaking, because it gets so exhausting. It just takes
I wouldn't
everything
do it as
out
much
of
as
you.
Because I'm going to Miami for 3 days next week, and by the second day, I'm going to be ready to go.
That's
home.
fun travel.
I think I just like to get on a plane. I just like planes.
Get away, go do something.
More
Everybody needs a little
sun.
break. Go get away. Absolutely, I'm with you. By the way, the sun thing, it's just different.
It is so different.
Being warm, I'm sorry, Tom, it's better than being cold.
Absolutely.
Everybody's entitled to be wrong.
Yeah, and everyone's entitled to be a serial killer too. That's the only kind of person that would think cold is better than warm.
I don't think that's true.
Dude,
I don't think anybody's entitled.
you know who wouldn't agree with that? A serial killer.
I agree.
Okay. You have something to tell us?
I don't think so.
Are you sure?
I don't think I don't have that mentality, unfortunately. I guess.
I mean, that's what a serial killer would say.
Yeah.
Just
think so.
What person, when I just said that, would go, that adds up. I think I have the mentality of a person who murders people.
An actual serial.
I think they'd be smart enough to be like, no, most of them are geniuses, man. Like, come on, they're smart enough.
Tom, you are a genius. So
look at that.
This is not helping my case now.
I know. I'll tell you what, he's not smart enough to like warm weather.
Yes.
That hurts your case.
That really scares me.
That hurts your case. Yeah, that's insane. Anyway, the warmth does something. Like I just looked at when I go to Uruguay, it's like 85 every day. As you guys know, I just got back from Mexico. My son said to me, my younger son, he was like, Dad, the sun just does something to you.
It does.
And I was like, yeah, man.
Just makes you happier.
Oh,
especially when we live where we do live. It is. Just...
And guys, just to be clear for everybody, I don't mind 3 of the 4 seasons. The winter, straight out of Game of Thrones. It's like winter is coming.
Yeah.
You know, and every flight.
Full force too.
Oh God. Like
one day it's 75, the next we're in 30-degree weather.
When I was just in Vegas, it was like cold every day. And everybody was like, what is this? It was a cold.
Yeah.
It's great for the conference though. Nobody could sit by the pool. Everybody was in the sessions. So not so bad, you know? Anyway, the warmth does do something. It's why we do Nashville. It's a good time in October. That's a nice time of the year. You don't know what you generally going to get like 70s though. But it's different every year, but generally you'll get right around that. Who knows? But anyway, so Uruguay though is supposed to be in the 80s. I can't wait for that.
Tell us.
My other 2 places are cold though. So that's not fantastic. But anyway, thank you everybody. Thank you for watching and listening. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you stay connected, guys. We're gonna do more of these. Got more of these coming out. I'm actually thinking of doing another one. I know we did one with Linda where I talked about her home buying or selling process, what decision she was going to make. We made some decisions. So we're going to do a podcast on that and kind of update everybody on what's going on there. Love you all. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you, Lex, for being on.
It was a pleasure.
Tom, thanks for being heard. You're not on camera, but thanks for being heard.
Well, you know, serial killers don't deserve to be
he did just refer to himself.
Yeah, you did.
You did just give it up. I mean, if anything were to happen, if people started disappearing locally, that is tape they would go back
It
to.
was Tom.
Yeah. Sorry.
Strangler now is what I'm hearing.
I mean, nobody went there. Like, what are you talking about right now?
Tom, you were probably the person behind the door.
Wow.
When it hit me.
Wow.
No, seriously, I got hit with the bathroom door last week and it busted open my lip.
Really?
I think it was Tom.
Did you? Looking at
smell
blood like a shark.
He was waiting. He was trying to take me out.
Like a shark.
Because he was laughing at me too when I came in.
That adds up. He's laughing right now.
Yeah.
He's laughing right now. It's kind of funny. All right. Well, all I know is your persona changed because in the beginning, she's like, he's a great guy. He's been a 50-year-old. You said 40. I'm going 50. Ever since whatever. And now
So now I'm a really nice 50-year-old serial killer that likes the polls.
Just saying you need to update your Instagram bio.
I guess so.
Yes.
Okay. That's all I'm saying. Because everyone knows whatever you put in that bio, it's real.
Yes.
Okay. And that is why I'm a real estate coach, because it says it in there. Okay. On that note, everybody, have a great day. Hope this was helpful. Hope you got a good workout in or something like that. We'll see you guys soon. Talk to you.